My wife leaned close and whispered, "Don't forget who really matters in this family." Her ex smiled from my seat. I smiled back, didn't argue, didn't raise my voice. Later that night, she discovered what had been changed when she saw what was there. I'm 38, married for 6 years, and I just learned that loyalty means nothing when someone thinks they've already won. It started 3 weeks ago. My wife's ex moved back to town. They dated in college, broke up. She met me 2 years later, we got married. Normal story. He'd been living across the country, got divorced himself, decided to come back home. She mentioned it casually one Thursday over dinner like she was talking about the weather. "Oh, by the way, he's back in town. We're meeting for coffee on Saturday. Just catching up." I looked up from my plate. "Okay, want me to come?" She laughed. "Why would you come? It's just coffee. Don't be insecure." I wasn't being insecure. I was being a husband who thought it was normal to meet his wife's friends. But I said okay. Told myself I trusted her. Told myself I was being mature. Saturday came. She dressed nicer than usual. Not obvious, just nicer. New jeans. The perfume I'd bought her for Christmas that she said she was saving for special occasions. She was gone for 4 hours. When she came back, she was smiling in a way I hadn't seen in months. "How was it?" "Good. Really good. We talked about everything. He's going through a tough time with his divorce. I told him he could call me if he needs to talk." "That's nice of you." I thought so too. The calls started that week. Every other day, then every day, then multiple times a day. She'd laugh at things he said. She'd take the phone into the other room. When I'd walk in, she'd lower her voice or say she'd call him back. "Why are you being weird about this?" "I'm not being weird. You're being paranoid." "I'm not paranoid. You're acting different." "Because I have a friend? You have friends. My friends don't call me 5 times a day." "Maybe your friends aren't going through divorces and need support." I let it go. Told myself I was overthinking. Told myself she was just being a good friend. 2 weeks later, she invited him to our house for dinner. Told me the morning of. "He's coming over tonight. I'm making that pasta thing. Be nice." I'm always nice. You know what I mean. Don't be jealous or make it awkward. I wasn't planning to be jealous or make it awkward. I was planning to have a normal dinner with my wife and her friend. But when he arrived, something shifted. He walked in like he owned the place, hugged her too long, looked around our living room with this half smile like he was evaluating whether we'd decorated correctly. Shook my hand with a grip that was just a little too firm. Nice place. She always had good taste. We sat down to dinner. I was at the head of the table, my usual seat. He sat across from my wife. They talked the entire meal. About college, about mutual friends I'd never met, about inside jokes I wasn't part of. I tried to join the conversation a few times. "Oh, I went to that same restaurant once." "Really? Anyway, remember when we went there after that concert?" I stopped trying after the 4th time, just ate my pasta and watched them laugh together. After dinner, we moved to the living room. I sat in my chair. The recliner I'd bought last year, my spot where I read or watched TV. He looked at it. "Mind if I sit there? My back's been killing me and that looks comfortable." I hesitated. My wife was already nodding. "Yeah, let him sit there. You can take the couch." I moved to the couch, watched him settle into my chair, watched my wife bring him coffee without asking how he took it because apparently she remembered from a decade ago. They talked for another 2 hours, about his divorce, about how his ex-wife didn't understand him, about how he'd made mistakes, but he was learning. My wife was nodding along, sympathetic, touching his arm when he said something particularly vulnerable. I was invisible, sitting on my own couch in my own house watching my wife comfort her ex-boyfriend in my chair. Around 11, he finally left. My wife closed the door, turned to me smiling. "That was nice. He really needed that." "It looked like you needed it too." What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. I'm going to bed. Don't be like this. You're being childish. I went to bed. She stayed up another hour texting him. I could hear her phone buzzing from the bedroom. Update 1. The next week, he came over 3 more times. Always at her invitation, always sitting in my chair, always talking to her like I wasn't there. On Wednesday, I came home from work early and found them in the kitchen. She was teaching him how to make bread, something she'd never offered to teach me. They were laughing, flour on their hands, standing close. "Oh, you're home early." Meeting got canceled. "We're making bread. Want some when it's done?" "Sure." I went to the living room, sat on the couch. My chair was empty, but I didn't take it. Didn't want to seem territorial. Didn't want to seem insecure. Listened to them laugh in the kitchen for another hour. That night in bed, I tried to talk to her. "Do you think maybe he's coming over too much?" "Too much? He's my friend." "I know, but every other day seems like a lot." "You're being controlling." "I'm not being controlling. I'm saying I'd like some time with just us." "We have time with just us. Right now is just us." "You were texting him 5 minutes ago." "So? You text your friends." "Not constantly. Not while we're in bed." She turned away from me. "I'm not having this conversation. You're being ridiculous." I stared at the ceiling for an hour after she fell asleep. Friday night, he came over again. I was in my chair this time. Got there first. Made a point of it. When he arrived and saw me sitting there, he smiled. "Oh, you're in the good chair tonight." "Yeah, I'm in my chair." He looked at my wife. She looked at me. I could see it in her face. The expectation. The assumption that I'd move. I didn't move. He sat on the couch. My wife sat next to him. They angled their bodies toward each other. I might as well have been furniture. An hour in, they were reminiscing about some trip they'd taken in college, some beach weekend, some bonfire, some perfect memory that didn't include me. That's when she leaned close to him, not looking at me, looking at him, and whispered, just loud enough for me to hear, "Don't forget who really matters in this family." He smiled, glanced at me, smiled wider. I smiled back. Didn't argue, didn't raise my voice, just smiled. Because in that moment, I decided something, and I knew exactly what I was going to do. I'm going to make some calls. You two keep catching up. I went to the bedroom, called my lawyer, the one who'd helped me with my parents' estate 2 years ago, left a message about needing a consultation, called my bank, asked about separating joint accounts. They said I'd need to come in. I said I'd be there Monday morning. Then I called a locksmith, asked how much to rekey a house. They quoted me. I said I'd call back. Then I went to our safe, the one in the bedroom closet, pulled out every important document, marriage certificate, car titles, insurance policies, bank statements, put them in a folder, put the folder in my car. I came back to the living room. They were still talking, still laughing. She didn't ask who I'd called, didn't ask what I was doing, didn't notice I'd been gone for 30 minutes. Update 2. Saturday morning, I woke up early. She was still asleep. I went to the bank when it opened, closed our joint savings account, transferred my half to an individual account, left her half in a cashier's check in an envelope with her name on it, put it in the kitchen drawer, came home. She was awake, making coffee. "Where'd you go?" "Bank. Had to take care of something." "On a Saturday?" "They have weekend hours now." She didn't push it, barely looked up from her phone, probably texting him. That afternoon, I went to see my brother, told him everything. He listened, didn't interrupt, waited until I was done. "So what are you doing?" "Leaving. I just need to figure out the timing." "Where are you going to stay?" "Haven't figured that out yet." "Stay with me. I've got the spare room." "You sure?" "Yeah." "When are you moving your stuff?" "Soon. Maybe this week. Just let me know." I went home, started mentally cataloging what was mine, what I'd brought into the marriage, what I'd bought myself, what I actually cared about. The list was shorter than I expected. Sunday, he came over again. I was working in the garage, organizing tools, packing some things into boxes. My wife came out. "What are you doing?" "Cleaning. This place is a mess." "Why are you putting things in boxes?" "Donating stuff I don't use." She looked suspicious but didn't push it. Went back inside. 10 minutes later, I heard his car pull up. Heard them greeting each other like old lovers. Heard her laugh at something he said. I stayed in the garage for 3 hours. When I came in, they were on the couch, close. Her legs tucked under her, leaning toward him. He had his arm on the back of the couch behind her, not touching her, not quite, but close enough. I walked past them to the bedroom, started packing clothes. Not everything, just enough for a week or two, enough to get by. Put the bag in my car under a blanket. Monday morning, I took the day off work. She didn't know. She left for her job at 9. He texted her at 9:15. I know because her iPad was on the kitchen counter and it lit up with his message. "Miss you already." She responded immediately. "Miss you too." I took a screenshot, sent it to myself, deleted the text thread from her sent items so she wouldn't know I'd seen it. Then I called the locksmith, told them I needed the house rekeyed. They said they could come that afternoon. I said perfect. I called my lawyer. She called back within an hour. "Tell me everything," I told her. About the ex, about the comments, about the whisper, about the texts, about feeling invisible in my own house. "Do you want to try counseling first?" "No, I want out. I just want to do it right." "What do I need?" "Document everything. Texts, calls, visits. If you have a separate account, that's good. Do you own the house jointly?" "Both our names on the mortgage." "That complicates things, but we can work it out. I'll draft papers. You need to decide if you want to contest anything or go for a clean split." "Clean split? I don't want anything from her. I just want out." "Okay. I'll have papers ready by end of week. When are you planning to serve her?" "This weekend, after I move out." "Smart. Do it in a public place if possible. Less chance of drama." "Will do." The locksmith came at 2. Changed all the locks. Front door, back door, garage. Gave me 3 copies of each key. I kept 1 set, gave 1 to my brother, put 1 in my car. At 4, I started moving things. Clothes, books, my laptop, tools from the garage, personal items, things that were mine before the marriage. Took 3 trips to my brother's place. He helped me unload. "You're really doing this?" "Yeah, I really am." "Good. You've been miserable for weeks." I didn't realize how miserable until I decided to leave. I went back home one last time, put my wedding ring on the kitchen counter, wrote a note. "I'll be back this weekend to talk. Don't contact me until then. The locks have been changed. Your key is on the counter." I left my key next to my ring, walked out, got in my car, drove to my brother's house. My phone started ringing at 6:30. Her. I didn't answer. She called 9 more times, left voicemails. "Where are you? Why are the locks changed? What is happening? Call me back right now." The voicemails got angrier. "This is insane. You can't just lock me out of my own house. I'm calling the police." "The police said I have to wait for you to come back. Where are you? What the hell is going on?" "Fine. Don't answer. But you're going to have to talk to me eventually." I didn't respond to any of them. Turned off my phone. Had dinner with my brother, watched TV, slept better than I had in weeks. Update 3. She showed up at my brother's house Wednesday morning. I don't know how she knew I was there. Maybe she guessed. Maybe she called him. He didn't answer either. I was getting ready for work when the doorbell rang. My brother answered. I heard her voice from the bedroom. "Is he here? I need to talk to him." "He doesn't want to talk." "I don't care what he wants. He locked me out of my house." "It's his house too. He's allowed to change the locks." Not without telling me. Maybe you should have thought about that before you disrespected him in his own home. What are you talking about? You know exactly what I'm talking about. He told me everything. He's being dramatic. Nothing happened. Doesn't matter if nothing happened. You treated him like garbage. You prioritized your ex over your husband. You told your ex he was what mattered in your family while your husband was sitting right there. Silence. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? We were just talking. It was a joke. Didn't sound like a joke to him. Can I please just talk to him? No. He'll talk to you when he's ready. When will that be? This weekend. He said he'd meet you this weekend. She started crying. I heard it through the door. Part of me wanted to go out there. Part of me wanted to comfort her, tell her it was okay, fix it. But I didn't move. Because it wasn't okay, and I wasn't going to fix it this time. She left. My brother came to the bedroom. You okay? Yeah, thanks for handling that. No problem. You sure about this weekend? Yeah, I need to talk to her eventually. Might as well be then. Friday, my lawyer called. Papers were ready. I picked them up that afternoon. Divorce papers. Clean split. She gets the house, I get my car and my personal accounts. We split the furniture we bought together. No alimony, no contests. Just done. I texted her Friday night. First message in 5 days. Meet me at the coffee shop on Main Street tomorrow at 2. We need to talk. She responded immediately. Finally, I'll be there. Can we please talk about this reasonably? That's the plan. I showed up at 1:45, got a table in the back corner, ordered coffee I didn't drink. She arrived at exactly 2, looked tired, like she hadn't been sleeping, sat down across from me. I'm so glad you finally agreed to talk. I've been going crazy. I know, I got your messages. Then why didn't you respond? Because I needed space, and I needed to figure out what I wanted. And what do you want? I slid the papers across the table. She looked down, looked at me, looked down again. What is this? Divorce papers, I'm filing. Her face went white. You can't be serious. I'm completely serious. Over what? Over me having a friend? Over you treating me like I don't exist. Over you prioritizing your ex over your husband. Over you whispering to him that he's what matters in our family while I'm sitting right there. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? I don't know. I wasn't thinking. It was just words. Words matter, and your actions matter, and for 3 weeks, your actions showed me exactly where I stand in your life. That's not fair. What's not fair is inviting your ex into our home every other day. What's not fair is making him dinner. What's not fair is giving him my chair and expecting me to move. What's not fair is laughing with him while I sit there invisible. What's not fair is telling him he matters while your husband watches. She was crying now. I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I thought you were okay with it. You didn't ask if I was okay with it. You just assumed. And when I tried to talk to you about it, you called me paranoid and controlling and childish. I was wrong. I see that now. Can we fix this? Can we go to counseling? No. Please, I love you. I don't want to lose you. You should have thought about that 3 weeks ago. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. This wasn't a mistake. This was a choice. You chose him over me every single day for 3 weeks, and I'm choosing myself now. I stood up, put the pen on the table next to the papers. Sign them or don't, but I'm done. The lawyer will contact you about the next steps. Wait, please, can we just talk about this? There's nothing left to talk about. You showed me who you are. I'm finally believing you. I walked out, got in my car, drove back to my brother's house. She didn't follow me, didn't call, didn't text. Final update. It's been 2 months. The divorce is almost finalized. She signed the papers after a week. Her lawyer tried to contest some things, but my lawyer shut it down. Clean split like I wanted. She moved out of the house, Last I heard, she's living with a friend. The house is being sold. We'll split whatever's left after the mortgage is paid off. Her ex stopped calling her about 2 weeks after I left. My brother heard through mutual friends that he got back together with his own ex-wife. Apparently, their divorce wasn't as final as he'd made it sound. Apparently, he was just looking for attention and validation while he figured his own life out. And my wife gave it to him without thinking twice about what it would cost. She texted me once since I walked out of that coffee shop. 3 weeks ago. Late at night. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't change anything, but I need you to know I'm sorry. You deserved better. I didn't respond. Because she's right. It doesn't change anything. And I did deserve better. I'm still at my brother's house, looking for my own place, something small, something that's just mine, where I can sit in whatever chair I want without worrying about being asked to move. People keep asking if I'm okay, if I'm angry, if I regret it. The truth is, I'm not angry anymore. I was angry that first week, angry at her, angry at him, angry at myself for letting it go on as long as I did. But now I'm just tired, and relieved, and grateful that I finally chose myself instead of waiting for her to choose me. That whisper changed everything, not because of what she said, but because of what it showed me. That I'd been accepting crumbs and calling it a meal. That I'd been invisible in my own life. That I'd been so afraid of being controlling or jealous or insecure that I let myself be erased. Later that night, she discovered what had been changed. When she tried her key and it didn't work. When she walked in and saw my ring on the counter. When she realized I wasn't coming back. She thought she could have both. Her husband at home and her ex's attention whenever she wanted it. She thought I'd always be there, always understanding, always accommodating. She was wrong.